My name is Kylie Danielle D'Souza, and that's my real name and my legal name still, but my Islamic name is Khadija, and I'm Khadija Rashid. Basically, I've lived in Canada for almost 2 years now, and I used to live in Dubai. I love being a Muslim, and I've been a Muslim for about 10 years now, and I think it was the best decision I made in my life. Well, I was raised in Dubai, and both my parents were Catholics, very staunch Catholics, I might add. And I'm the only child, so I used to enjoy all my parents' love, but doesn't mean I'm spoiled. But I grew up in a very religious family, and I think God had a place in our house. Like He took precedence over everything. Like I remember when we would sit down to eat, my dad would always say your prayers first, even if it was like 2 lines. Then we would say grace before meals, grace after meals. We would go to church, we would pray in the morning, pray at night. My grandmother, my dad's mother, was very religious. We would say, Catholics say a prayer called the Rosary. It's basically a long prayer, but it's kind of like the tasbih, but much longer. So she would make us say it every day. So religion was an important part of our lives. And I mean, just helping out people, trying to be very simple. I think the festivals are probably the things I remember the most. Christmas was really, really special in our house. It's not about what you see today. Christmas is so commercial. I mean, Christmas is not the decorations. I know a lot of Muslims think, oh, Christmas is just about, the Christmas tree and Santa Claus. No, Christmas is very important because it's the birth of Jesus. And if you look at Christmas, the way it happened, Jesus was born in a stable, according to Christianity. So it was not for us. It was not about, yes, we did have decorations and stuff, but our decorations were special. They were like heirlooms. My mom had had them for years, and we would collect them. And what I remember most was every Christian usually has a crib in their house. So we had a very special one. We had one that came from Jerusalem. It was made out of olive wood. And my mom would always say, we would go to midnight mass first. So most people think Christmas is all about parties, but not for us. My dad would always say that, no, it's the birth of Jesus. We have to go to church first. So bang, at midnight, we were at church. So we would welcome Christmas in a holy way, the way it was supposed to be. And my mother would always say, baby Jesus would not go in the crib till we leave for midnight mass. Until today, if I see a crib before Christmas, I always tell my husband, look, it should not be there before that, because that's what my mom would say. And I mean, Christmas for us was just being with family. We never had like the big parties people did. Our house was open. So in Dubai, we had a lot of Muslim friends. My parents, they would come, they would celebrate a meal with us. And of course, everything was halal there, right? So they would come, they would sit, they would eat sweets with us, have dinner with us. And everybody would say Christmas in your house was special because you could feel the love and you could feel that God was everywhere, And I think what I remember most was my grandmother, my dad's mother. She would make all these sweets a month in advance. And what she would do, she would make, she would start with her sweets. And the first thing she would do when she would make them out of dough, she would form a little cross. And she would fry it. And then she would start. So basically, it's kind of like doing it with Bismillah, but in the Christian way, right? And I would always remember that in anything, whether she made like rotis or anything that she would make, she would do that. And for us, it was all about religion and, I mean, being a good person, trying to help everybody. So I think I had a wonderful childhood. And this is probably what helped me make my decision to become a Muslim. The Trinity crossed my mind a million times, but my parents were like, oh, you should never, don't ask, I mean, you just have to believe. A lot of Christianity is based on just blind faith, and I've seen that. I mean, we went to religious classes as well, like the madrasa, but ours was catechism, basically. So everything was kind of vague with that. I mean, I was thinking, how can God be 3 people? And I was always told, like, don't question, just believe. And my parents still do that right now, I mean, I'm not saying anything about their faith, but for me, it just never stuck. And I did identify myself as a Christian, but I felt something was missing. So, I mean, I felt that for a long time and I never realized why till later, till I became an adult and I was able to make my own decisions. That's when I realized that something was missing from my life. Well, I had a very strong relationship with the Bible. I read it as a child and I thought it was really special because my mom had given me this beautiful picture Bible. So it helped me, and it was a whole Bible from the Old Testament to the New. And it had the stories, but basically for the children. And it had beautiful pictures. So that was my first recollection of the Bible. And I liked it. It was beautiful. I mean, it had beautiful stories and morals. But unfortunately for me, I felt that it shouldn't have been changed. Because, I mean, I know there are a lot of versions now, and I unfortunately have a problem with the fact that Christianity has been changed. It's not in its original form, and that really was one of my reasons why I wanted to find something that was still pure and something that hadn't been changed. But yes, I still respect the Bible, and I love the Bible very much till today. I've always had a close connection to Islam because I was born and raised in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, and there was Islam everywhere. My parents had a lot of Muslim friends. We would go and celebrate Eid together and Ramadan. It was basically like all of us were fasting because in Dubai you would never, you weren't allowed to eat from dawn to dusk. So it was as if we were fasting too. And I mean, we actually tried fasting sometimes to just see what it felt like. But for me, there was always something drawing me to Islam. I've always had more Muslim friends than Christians, and every time I would hear the adhan, something would happen to me. I would feel like some kind of charge in my body, and I never realized what was happening until later. So for me, I go way back with Islam, and alhamdulillah for that. Since I grew up in Dubai, Islam was all around you. So, I mean, it became part of your life. And, sometimes things are just there. I had a lot of Muslim friends and, Ramadan and the Quran, hearing the adhan every day. Yes, I did have a lot of Muslim friends. So we used to sit and we used to talk. And I never felt right being a Christian. I always felt something was missing. So we would just have casual discussions about, the Quran and the Bible and just general things, and looking around, seeing, eating halal food, I think also played a real part in it. Because in Dubai, everything is halal, and people say that you should eat halal food and the effects it has on you. So I think that living in Dubai really helped me understand Islam better. And I think it was always a part of me, and I never realized it till I was an adult. In school, all our friends had Quran, Islamic class, and a lot of my friends would go to like priests to learn the Quran. So sometimes my friend, she's a Sunni, and I used to play at her house a lot, and the priest would come and teach her. And I would hear these words, and they just sounded so beautiful, and they're like magnetic, they draw you to it. And I started to like that. And we can read Arabic, right? Because in Dubai, we had to learn Arabic. So we can read and write Arabic. And I mean, we didn't understand it, but there was just something about the words that would just make me just want to stop and listen. And even when my parents would hear, they'd say, it's really beautiful. I mean, it just calls you, and it really just, I felt as if it was saying, come. So it's beautiful, and it's such an important book, and I just love it, mashallah. It's my favorite book in the whole world. For me, the hijab, I think, was one of the easiest things I've ever done. I never thought that it would be a problem for me because I was a Christian, and Catholics, they believe in the Virgin Mary, right? Bibi Maryam. And if you've noticed, have you, in any Christian picture or a statue of Bibi Maryam, have you ever seen her without her hijab? No. And so for me, it was, I think, the easiest thing I ever did. And I can't imagine myself without it now. It's such a beautiful thing. People think that women are oppressed when they wear the hijab. In fact, it's the total opposite. I feel so much freedom now. I feel at peace wearing the hijab, and it commands so much of respect. And it takes guts and courage to wear this. People think that, just because you wear a hijab, you can't make your own decisions. And in fact, I feel like emancipated since I've started wearing the hijab. And I would tell everybody to wear it, because once you wear it, it's like a whole new world for you, I love it, and I don't think that anybody, I mean, people who don't wear it, they should